right. Hello and welcome to another episode of Raven Conversations. I'm Jason Kreis with the Public Affairs Office. And today I have with me Joshua K. Moen, the Holistic Health and Fitness Project Officer.
Nailed it.
And he's going to be here today talking about this new 12-week program that he has starting next week. It's going to meet 4 days a week. It's going to be a daily health and fitness training plan. And it's going to be right here on Camp Murray every day, Tuesday through Friday. So we're going to talk about that, and we're going to go into some of the details of that. But first, I want you to introduce yourself and give me your origin story. How did you become a fitness guru?
Great question. Fitness guru, that's a big title. I think just born out of sports naturally. Grew up playing team sports and had an interest for it, a panache for it, so I could say. And then it kind of just grew after college athletics, got into coaching. And then from there, it just grew and grew and grew. And so I got certifications, letters behind my name, and then coached in high school for a while, college for a while. And then that's kind of where it was born. And then obviously rolling into the military, I didn't really think there were many opportunities for that to grow or to be used. But thankfully, there are some opportunities with Master Fitness Trainers. So I dipped my toe in those waters. And then obviously when the Holistic Health and Fitness Project Officer position opened up, Major Sims let me know about it and asked me to.
And you're the perfect candidate, right?
Allegedly.
I mean, you got a whole 12-week program that you just going to get started. Tell me about the program itself. What are some of the details?
Sure.
What can people expect?
Well, I think what people can expect is they can expect it to be not what they think it's going to be, because I think historically, whenever jumping into an Army fitness program, and hopefully I'm not painting the wrong picture, but I think just invariably all of the conversations that I've heard over the years is how they've maybe done group PT, certainly on active duty, they've just gotten smashed. They show up and like you said, there's a jackrabbit first sergeant that loves to run, and he likes to show everybody how good he is at running, and then takes people out. And then all of a sudden everybody has shin splint issues or a knee, a back, a hip from that overuse and from doing too much running. So I think what's unique and what I like to bring to the table is just smart progression, because I think a lot of times it's really easy to do too much too soon. And without somebody with that perspective of knowing, hey, I've got this population of athletes that want to get to this place, how can we get them to that place smartly and without getting injured and progressing properly? And that's one of the things that we talk about in the Master Fitness Trainer School is proper progression, because really we've all been there. I've certainly been there many, many times in my life where I haven't progressed properly. And I think back to 3 months ago, this is what I was doing 3 months ago. Why can't I do it right now? I'll just jump back in and try to start where I left off from a couple months ago. And then invariably I get hurt. So we're trying to avoid that. So Tuesday through Friday from 11:20 a.m. And we're going to be trying in and out in 45 minutes to an hour, probably somewhere in there. But really it's going to be proper progression, not just the workout, but then also the warm up and the cool down. So I think that's a missing component in a lot of people's workouts is they don't have a proper warm up nor cool down. I mean, either one. It's just missing.
So what are some of the reasons why you have to do that?
Yeah, great question. So I think just what research would tell us is that the body needs to be primed. It has to be primed in order to get to a peak state of performance, whether you're doing a submaximal workout. So you don't have to go in and crush yourself every workout, but the body needs to be primed. You need to properly warm up your joints, get your internal temperature up. Right now it's pretty easy because it's mid 80s. So that's a little bit easier too, but even still with that hot temperature outside, you still need to prime muscles and joints to be properly mobilized to go through what they're about to go through. And so without that, what tends to happen is you get a ligament or a muscle or a joint that hasn't been properly lubricated, warmed up, and then you go right into your workout. And because it's not properly warmed up, that's where you get those muscular skeletal issues where maybe the fascia or the muscle or the joint, ligament, tendon, something's not heated up properly. You stress it a little bit too much, and then you've got an underlying or nagging issue.
Okay.
which is a bad deal.
Yeah, I got a few stories or a few
Nice.
parts that have recently starting to get a little bit sore,
flared up,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
just nicks and dings. Yeah,
Exactly.
it happens. And with maybe a little, it's hard to say with your current state, but typically when the progression is appropriate for the athlete based on where they've been and their current state of fitness, and then also where they want to go, if there's a plan in place that approaches their I guess their fitness goals from where they're currently at and what their history is. So it's twofold, right? So it's not only what is your current state of fitness, but then where have you been before? Because that's going to play into how quickly you can get back up to where you were before, as opposed to somebody who doesn't have a huge training background or training age is what it's called in the biz. If they don't have a huge training background or training age is pretty young, then that's going to dictate also where they're going to start, how they need to progress, and what's a smart goal for them.
So this is open to most anybody who works on Camp Murray.
Yep. Any and everybody.
Okay, so how do people get in contact with you? How would you like them to reserve a spot? And we'll continue the question after you answer that one.
Yeah,
I got another question, but go ahead.
Great question. So I blasted out the Distro A email, and I got pretty good feedback. So it was email. Email me back. Let me know if you're interested. That was the preliminary, and I think that still works. I've had a few people reach out via text, but email definitely works easier. It's just easier for me to see and track, and then put in my spreadsheet to see who I can maybe anticipate showing up on day one. So email's definitely
emails
the
are
best.
best. Joshua. I could put it out right here. Joshua.k.moen2.mil at army.mil.
Yes.
Yes.
That's the one.
MOEN. Okay. Is this strictly for like ACFT prep or any kind of fitness test for the military? Is this?
I think a great way to think about it is holistic health. So it really is. Like, it's holistic health and fitness, but there's also going to be, we're going to touch on some ACFT prep stuff. So not only will the tactical athletes that show up, obviously they're gonna get trained up really, really well in all things weight room and running, agility work in there that will also feed into the sprint, drag, carry. We'll be doing some tempo, interval, and a little bit of distance work, not very much. I was telling you before we started recording, we will, at the peak of our volume in this training, running wise, like, we'll never get above 11.5 miles in a week, which is very low compared to most running programs. So we will touch on those. We also will have kind of prep days or teach days where we'll talk about the ball toss. We'll have a couple opportunities to learn best practices for something like that. And that's a bugaboo for a lot of people.
Yeah.
It really is.
I don't know why. That was like
it's so technique driven.
Yes. That's what it's like, levers, right?
Yep.
Like, you got to release it at the right time, just the right
Proper
position.
launch angle,
Exactly.
triple extension of the ankle, knee, and hip joint.
I was able to throw that thing across the street whenever I did it. It was
Nice.
I was like, man, wow, I just did that.
Yeah.
So that was one of my favorite ones, but of course,
Very technique driven.
Yeah.
Though. So folks that just don't have, it's really timing and coordination, kind of like a golf swing. It's a little bit like that. Well, okay, way less technical than that. But even still, it's that proper synchronization of triple extension and then ball release. So we will touch on things like that. Obviously, people are going to get some deadlift coaching when they're there too for the 3-rep max deadlift, which I think is great. But it's going to be holistic. So it's not really you're going to be a better runner or you're going to be just a better weightlifter or a better ball thrower. It's going to be everything.
Is there anything else you'd like to talk about this program?
Oh, it's going to be fantastic.
I agree.
Because here's why. I think the biggest push that I've tried to, and maybe it's just stepped on toes or maybe it hits people wrong, ego-wise or pride or whatever the case is, or maybe people are afraid of jumping into a group training session. But when I've just the places that I've been throughout playing in high school and college and dipping my toe in those waters, helping Olympic athletes prep, there's a common thread with anybody who's trying to go somewhere to have a coach. And so wouldn't it make sense to jump into a program where there's a coach that knows where or how to get people to a certain level based on where they're currently at and where they want to go. So I would say the selling point that I would make to anybody that would even consider, maybe they aren't considering, maybe they're on the fence, wherever they're at on the spectrum of being a part of the 12-week program, is that coaching is a difference maker. And when you jump into something and you have a coach that's tracking your progress, giving you feedback, teaching you technique, and watching all these things that you can't do by yourself. I mean, you can have an app and you can follow a program, but it's so different and so unique when you have a coach who's standing there watching almost your every move, or at least just watching and picking out people and just giving them technique coaching, and then also giving them specific values based on what's your 3-rep deadlift max right now currently, what's your current 1 mile PR time, and then being able to design that program specifically for you. Like, that's just different. So it's way different than just showing up to a gym and looking at an app and then training by yourself and trying to find the motivation. But when you're a part of a group and you have a coach, that's just different. So that's my selling point. So that's it. That's the selling point.
Right on. Awesome. Well, if that's everything, we'll end it here. Thanks for watching. If you like the show, share it with your unit. We always want some feedback. Subscribe. Do all the button pushing on your end to get new episodes directly to your inbox. So thank you, and we'll see you next time.